If I were to start a brand right now, what would I do? In 2023, sales for e-commerce continue to skyrocket thanks to everyone's addiction to social media and their buying habits. Great news, right? Well, if you're a new brand owner, trying to start a store right now meant that things got harder and harder as every day new people joined the market and tried to make their product the next best thing, making it even more difficult to boost the brand presence and stand out from the competition. And if you're one of these businesses, the learning curve for creating strong marketing strategies has never been more steep. So if you want to grow your brand without burning a crazy amount of cash in the process, then you're going to need a fine-tuned approach to the digital marketing world to help you get there. This video is just that. My name is Arsalan, owner of AKM Media, and we scale, grow, and invest in the e-com brands that we love. Having spent over $300 million in the last couple of years on paid advertising, we've learned a thing or two of what it takes to grow at different stages. And in this video, I'm going to cover the strategies that RCMO swears by if you're a new brand trying to make it big. How to define your e-commerce marketing goals properly. That's a very important thing. Your e-com merchandising, what it is, why you need it. Creating the right e-com plan with the basics, your Facebook marketing, Google ads, and more. How to produce creative that sells, and looking into the personas, the ad angles, the ad formats, the ad creatives, and ad iterations that you're going to need to think about, and other marketing avenues to explore. And finally, using a P&L to gauge the progress along the way. It's quite a lot in this video. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So if I was starting a brand right now in 2024, how do I define my e-commerce marketing goals? Now, before you even start building a creative marketing campaign, it's crucial that you clearly understand your long-term goals. No two businesses are the exact alike, meaning that your goals might not be the same as another brand in your niche or industry. And knowing your end goal will help you craft a dynamic e-commerce marketing strategy that moves you closer to your North Star, which is scaling. Now let's look at this with a few practical examples. Say that you're an e-commerce startup whose North Star is profitability and achieving the highest growth possible. Now in this case, there's one rule that you need to follow in all of your marketing efforts and all of your strategies. Only spend money that makes you more money, right? Or makes you money. Now, if this is your primary goal, then you're going to need to be very strategic about the ways that you spend money on your marketing channels. If you can master the art of only spending money that makes money, then you'll be guaranteed to win big. Now, with that in mind, the next step is the process that involves asking yourselves a few questions about your online business. What are my actual targets? First, you need to have a very clear understanding of your targets for growth. Basically, you need to know how much you want to boost profitability within a certain length of time. And to do that, you'll have to look at two important factors. What is your profitability time window? And this is the period of time over which you'll be looking to drive sales. Now, many new startup business owners and entrepreneurs make the mistake of thinking that the goal is to increase profitability 24/7, 365 days a year. And while that might sound like a good idea in theory or in your mind, in reality, it isn't very practical in doing a strategy or in a business sense. Instead, you have to narrow down the scope to a specified time window. Some of the best ways to do this include setting targets for 30 days, 60 days, or even 90 days. And in those windows, it makes it easier to hit the target and grow your business over the long run. And the second question being, how long is my cash conversion cycle? If you take a look at the image on the screen right now, you'll get a better visual idea of what I mean. You need to look at your e-commerce website's cash conversion cycle. And this is the time that it takes to turn an investment into a profitable return for your business. For most e-com brands and startups, the cycle is typically around 60 days. And 60 days is the magic number because most credit lines and credit cards are based within time frames where you have to pay them back within 60 days, which is perfect when you're doing paid advertising and other things that then require you to pay it back much later versus now. And after you know what your cash conversion cycle looks like, you can start finding ways to reduce the period of time, leading to higher profits for the business in the short term and in the long term. And this includes things like taking out lower interest on any outstanding business debt, reducing the cost associated with producing the product in the first place, finding more affordable partnerships with your vendors potentially or your merchants, right? Having payment terms of 60 days, 90 days, etc. Simply put, the less money you spend on these expenses, the less time it will take to turn each investment that you put into the business into a profit. And a pro tip, use your time window and cash conversion cycle together, because depending on your growth goals, it's going to be a good idea to set your time window to match your conversion cycle. This will make it a lot easier to maximize the profits in a realistic time frame so that you can make your cash conversion cycle work for you, not against you, which a lot of businesses do. For example, what I said earlier, leveraging credit cards or credit lines to pay off your Meta ad bills or your Google ad bills, giving you a longer period to pay it back, which is always a win. Now, the second thing I mentioned earlier was e-commerce merchandising. What is it? Why do you need it? Right now, you might think e-commerce marketing tactics only apply to your online marketing channels. However, in reality is that conversions and sales happen on your website itself. Your website, your brand, everything about it is a thing that you need to consider. And that means having your website effectively merchandised can give you a huge advantage over the competition, since most online retail stores neglect this aspect of running their business. In essence, merchandising is how your store is arranged, from how you display your products. For a brick and mortar business, it's a classic example of having the top selling, aka most profitable products on the window to, lure customers in and potential customers in into the store, and having the less profitable items in the back where they're less likely to steal the attention. In the world of ecom, these same strategies can be applied to your online store. So to start, you need to identify what products do you really want to push versus the products that don't earn you any money, or maybe little compared to others. And this might include strategies like creating hero banners for your best-selling products, making dedicated product pages or landing pages for your top sellers, specific offers around those top sellers, pushing the less profitable items to the bottom of your page, forcing customers to scroll all the way down to find them and therefore not having to sell them as much. Not only does this boost your sales by pushing your most profitable products first, but it also creates a better customer experience by making it a lot easier for your customers to find the products that they already know and love. Pro tip, how to know which products to push. Now, if you're a new brand and you're new to ecom, you might find it a little bit difficult to identify which products you have to push in your store. And in that case, we recommend taking a SKU-based approach to your e-commerce merchandising. This basically just means using the data from social media marketing, from your profit margins, the different channels and Shopify metrics to determine which SKUs produce the biggest results for your brand. And if you still don't know after looking at all of that data, then you can always just look at indirect competitors and other brands to get a good idea of what maybe you should be pushing within your product line on your website. Now, the next thing I'll be doing if I just started an ecom brand in 2024 is the marketing plan. These days, there are a lot of social media platforms and marketing channels available for e-commerce businesses like TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Meta, and so forth. But for brands who are just starting to build traction, we honestly just suggest focusing on two of the biggest advertising platforms, Meta and Google. Now, both of these platforms have a strong track record for e-commerce success, and they come with a ton of metrics to help you optimize your results. Even with the rise in popularity of other social media platforms like TikTok recently, Facebook still remains the leader when it comes to e-commerce marketing. However, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be strategic in the way that you approach your marketing efforts on these platforms. Many businesses make the mistake of funneling too much money into ineffective ad campaigns on Facebook and Instagram, causing them to run out of funds before they can even really yield the results that they would have wanted or should have. So to avoid these pitfalls, these are some important steps that you need to take and I recommend you take. On the screen in front of me, you will see the following structures that we love to use when testing out CBOs with cost caps. Now, cost caps are among the best features available for brands in Facebook ads, in our opinion. Now, this manual bidding tool allows you to specify exactly how much advertising dollars Facebook can spend on any particular campaign based on your metrics and the data that you have, allowing you to optimize your ad account spend and protect your budget. Now, without cost caps, Facebook does highest volume bidding, which is the default, right? And what that means is if you tell it to spend $1,000, it's going to spend $1,000, regardless of the return that it gives you. And that is where you lose control over where your money is going. Alternatively, manual bidding gives you full control over how much money actually gets spent. Say that you tell Meta to spend on marketing campaigns that are generating a specific ROAS. Now, in that case, the platform will move all the money into the campaigns that meet your targets and away from those campaigns that don't, ultimately giving you the freedom to maximize your investments and increase your conversion rates by taking advantage of this tool. Another tool that we love to use within manual bidding is setting and optimizing ads for a specific CAC, or a cost to acquire a customer. Now, obviously, acquiring new customers is incredibly important for new brands that don't have a large customer base just yet. So we recommend setting a CAC limit for your marketing campaigns on the platform. And this goes the same for Google. This keeps you from spending too much on ads with a high CAC and allows you to focus more on the ads that produce high quality leads without the excessive costs. The last thing you need to remember with Meta is that it's all about data. The platform literally is driven off data, which means that the more information you have in your ad account, the more you'll be able to use these tools to your advantage. If you're limiting your manual bidding efforts through cost caps and CAC limits, you might notice that Meta or Facebook might not even be pushing your campaigns entirely. You might even not spend a single penny, even though you told it to spend $1,000. And that's because the platform simply just doesn't have enough data to make good use of the funds. And in that case, we suggest you open up your cost caps for a limited time period, right? You want to allow allow it to spend a little bit more just so it gets the data that it needs to use that manual bidding effectively to your advantage later down the line. And our motto, especially mine, when dealing with Facebook marketing is that no spend is always better than bad spend. And that means you're always better off saving money than wasting it on campaigns that weren't going to produce you the results anyways. If you want more insight on how to get the most out of your Facebook marketing strategies, feel free to reach out to my team. We'll try to help you in the best way that we know how. Now, next up, Google Ads. Now, while Google is bidding driven, similar to Facebook and Instagram and other platforms, it operates slightly differently because instead of focusing on marketing campaigns, Google is fueled by organic search engine optimization, or SEO. Basically, you'll be bidding on keywords in the hopes of boosting your e-commerce website higher up in the rankings and getting in front of more eyeballs. Now, for new businesses, we always suggest starting with just branded keywords, to be honest, rather than more general ones, because one, you don't have a lot of money to burn, and this includes your brand name and other variations of your products that you might be selling. So for example, one of our most notable clients did something very, very similar when they first started scaling for the first time on Google. When we first started working with them, we focused on bidding just on the keyword of their brand name alone and also their product name / category. So for example, if it was a coffee, we would say X coffee. And this way we were pushing to customers and shoppers who might already have heard of the brand or are looking for the product indirectly. And this is a great approach for brands that have already made some sales but are still working on establishing consistent customer loyalty. However, if you want to take your Google strategy a step further, there are a few other options you can put advertising dollars into. Search-based ads, they're basically text-based keywords that boost your brand's ranking in organic search engine results. Very similar to what you see anytime you Google something. Shopping ads for specific products that show up in Google Shopping tab, and you'll see this all the time if you go on Google right now and type in any product like coffee or tea or this or that. Display ads are their visual ads that appear on websites with relevant content to your brand. Video, long-form video content in the form of YouTube that appears in your brand search results. Discovery, which is basically reaching new customers by appearing in their feeds on YouTube, email promotions, and other social media tabs within the Google network. And depending on how much spend that you have, you can take a more aggressive approach to Google advertising by using 1, 2, or even all of these options. The only drawback is that the ROAS significantly decreases each time you funnel money into one of these avenues, which means you need to be extremely strategic as to how you decide to utilize all of these tools within the Google platform for your business. Now, we suggest only going with PMAX shopping, search, branded search to begin with. Let the data guide your way after that. Next up, creative strategy. Now, how do you even build one out? When it comes to marketing campaigns, there are two main sort of ad categories that you'll need to think about for creatives. There's branded and there's performance. Branded ads are designed to boost your overall brand awareness within your target audience, whereas performance ads, they're just made to convert sales. Now, from an e-com marketing perspective, performance ads is really the only viable option, especially for startups. Ultimately, there's only one KPI or metric that matters to you when you're first starting out. That is sales and growing your business. So the number of clicks that you turn into sales is the important part. And without strong sales, your e-com brand will fall apart pretty quickly before you even reach the brand awareness stage. Here's our process when it comes to performance ads and how we go about it. Now, you could start running ads right away, relying solely on trial and error to boost sales, trends, things like that. But finding a more systematic approach when you produce creatives is one of the best ways that you can multiply and double down on results and then replicate it over and over and over again. Now, the first thing we do is we look at customer personas. Now, the more specific your customer avatar or persona is, the more of an impact you'll be able to have on your target market. One of the easiest ways to begin insights into your customers' lives is by using existing email lists that you might already have to conduct customer reviews and interviews. It's a life hack, but you're a new business, so we're going to assume that you don't have a lot of subscribers in your email marketing list. You can also visit social media platforms that are popular with your target audience and engage with potential customers through these channels. Just literally directly asking them questions about why they like this product, why they bought it, maybe a direct competitor, reading their reviews. Either way, your goal should be to deeply understand your customers' likes, dislikes, lifestyle, and most importantly, why they need your product. Here's an example in front of me right now on the screen of questions that you really want to be answering when it comes to really understanding your customer. Now, the next point on my list is marketing angles. With the information that you gain from building your customer persona, you can start experimenting with different ad angles. Essentially, the ad angle is the primary selling point that you're using to move your customer through the buying process. An analogy that we often use is a customer buying a drill. In this case, the customer isn't buying a drill because they don't really have one. Instead, they buy it because they need to put a hole in their wall. So they're going to have to buy a drill. So some of the ad angles might be how easy it is to use or how precise the drilling capabilities are of your drill. And that is an ad angle. Now, whatever the angle you choose, you make sure that it reflects what your customer actually needs out of your product rather than the product itself. And after you've done that, you basically come to ad formats. Now, there are many of them, and next you need to pick the right ad format to get the message across. Depending on your advertising platform, these might include video ads, interactive ads, animated ads, infographics, or other dynamic visual styles. There's a lot of them, and I'll leave a list below. Now, some of the top ones to focus on in our opinion for 2024, UGCs as always, split screen, before and afters, testimonial reviews in video format, and GIFs that change rapidly to attract the attention of the eye to the ad. And that brings you finally to the ad creative. So finally, you can build the ad creatives for your marketing campaigns. Ad creatives can take on many different styles, but all of them should include a clear ad angle, call to action, and should ultimately lead your customers back to your landing page or website to check out. Now, one of the fastest ways to get inspo of this is just to go directly into ad libraries of brands or competitors or indirect competitors alike, and just see what they run, how many ads did they run of that type, what kind of angles or formats are they running, and that'll be a great indicator for what is worth making initially. And lastly, you have your ad iterations. For instance, if you have an ad creative that is receiving a lot of engagement but isn't converting into sales, you could try running an iteration with a different call to action and determining whether one performs better. If it does, then you know exactly what works now. Now, taking this approach to A/B test gives you the power to produce ad creatives at scale, even if you don't have a huge budget. And you pair that process with manual bidding, which we talked about earlier, and cost caps, you have a pretty lean system to test a lot of things with little risk. And that is exactly what I would do if I started a brand today. Other marketing avenues to explore. Our creative process was mainly designed, in all honesty, around pay-per-click and PPC ads and performance ads. However, there are other cost-effective marketing strategies that you can take advantage of alongside the traditional ad campaigns that you run right now. There's also content marketing, influencer marketing, email and SMS marketing once you have an audience. Typically works really well and goes hand in hand with the above. And in all honesty, there are many other ways. TikTok Shop, for example, is blowing up right now in 2023 and 2024, and it gives an insane result if you can manage to get the right content built around your brand and products. But as a beginner or just starting up, we don't recommend it just yet for you, which is why I'm not covering it mostly in this video. And finally, using a P&L to gauge your goals. With all of the above done, you can start assessing your progress with the help of a P&L or profit and loss sheet. If you've never made a P&L sheet for your business, you can follow along with our easy to use template, which I will link below. Now, P&Ls are the ultimate tools when it comes to determining the success of your business, and you can help answer some of the most burning questions about your brand. For example, is my pricing strategy effective? Am I getting a good ROAS on my marketing campaigns? Where can I maximize my earnings within the business or the products? And these questions are the missing link between where your brand stands right now and where you want your profits to be. It's 2024, and if I was to start a new brand right now, these are the key core things that I'll be thinking about and making plans around. Now, if you found this video useful, let us know in the comments. And if you got confused on anything or have questions, let me know in the comments. And if your brand is looking to scale but isn't too sure on how to do that either, my team can probably help you guys. My name is Arsalan, and I'll see you guys on the next one.